I've recently acquired an absolutely vast metal detecting permission here in Scotland, and it's got Middle Bronze Age sites, medieval castles, it's got post-medieval farmsteads, rig and furrow fields, cut-marked stones, and everything you could possibly want. It's big enough to last me probably for a whole lifetime, but for the next 4 days I thought we'd just dot around and have a look at some of the fields in the permission and see what we find. So I've got my trusty Minelab Equinox 600, the dog Hempy, and who loves a wee metal detect, and we'll head out and see what we find. Let's go. Okay. Where's the frisbee? First signal, we've got what looks like a pocket knife. It was a very easy signal, easy digging, and amazing. Wooden handle, looks like kind of brass fittings at the top. I wonder, with a good soaking in some vinegar or something, I wonder if we can get this to work again. Let's give it a little brush and see what it looks like. Amazingly, it still works. Isn't that cool? Hole number 3 of the day, and we got a signal 19, which is usually a sort of brass rifle shots, but it actually looks like something more interesting, although possibly related. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. It's definite trigger guard, isn't it? Amazing. Now I have to do some research about which shotgun or musket or rifle this would have been off. It looks very old. So if you recognise the shape, please let me know. I've got a lovely steady 24-25. Could it be silver? Or is it an aluminium can? Oh, it's out the hole. I was just about to say, I'm sure it's one of those shotgun percussion caps, but maybe it isn't. Could that be a ring? Copper alloy though, not terribly exciting if it is a ring. A little bit, maybe a little design there, or is it the end of is it a trimming off of a copper pipe? What do you think? Got a slightly sketchy signal here, but I've dug it up and it's quite interesting. Take a look at this. In the hole, looks like we might have a coin. Just giving it a quick clean up in the burn, and we can see Britannia halfpenny looking very resplendent with her trident. On the other side, the veiled head of Queen Victoria, 1898. This is actually the best Victorian halfpenny I've ever found, so really pleased with this. Really nice detail. Ooh, let's find some more coins. The screamer of a 20 on the Equinox, and it is this enormous lump of lead. Is it some kind of weight? Or an ingot? Although that bit looks hollow and kind of broken over, so it's got a rounded bottom. Very interesting, incredibly heavy. Probably almost sort of 700-800 grams, I would have thought. Well, one for the lead shelf. Right, this is the day 1 roundup. We have our chunky lead ingot thing. Lovely pocket knife. Unsure of the age of that, I'll have to look that up. Trigger guard, also one to research. A little design actually on the bottom, I think it's brass. We've got our Victorian, late Victorian halfpenny. A coin, sadly missing any detail. Unsure of that, and possibly a ring. So that's day 1. Day 2, and we're heading towards a bishop's palace. Let's see what we find in this beautiful field. Well, that's where we're going. Is there a pot of gold at the bottom of the rainbow? Let's see. Half an hour into day 2, and we have our first coin by the looks of things. Woohoo! Let's see what it is. This is actually very exciting. It looks like a coin that's also been drilled to wear, maybe as a medallion or necklace. And it looks very old. Just got a 30 on the Minelab Equinox. And we have something very deep, probably the deepest that's ever detected. Down here. Not quite sure what it could be. It's the right colour for something interesting, and it's pretty deep. So I'll give it a wee excavation and see what it is. Oh well, really thought we had found something interesting there, but it's just one of those kind of caps for a pipe for field irrigation or something. Oh well, keep looking. Not a bronze axe edge, sadly. Just walked a few paces from the blanking cap from the pipe and got a nice, steady, small 15. So let's see what's in the hole. Well, it's a really interesting piece of cast lead. This is obviously the side, the mould side, and this is the top where it's been poured in. Now, could that possibly date from the time of the medieval building that was around here? A clue we're perhaps getting a little bit closer to the target. Nice wee find. Well, just dug this flap here and looks like you've got something kind of tortoise shelly. Very interesting. What could it be? What could it be? Oh, is it a little wee pocket knife? Is it the second pocket knife of the week? I think it is pocket knife number 2 of the week. And this time it's in fantastic tortoise shell casing with little brass inlay and some brass pins as well. Welcome to day 3 of detecting. We've got our first signal. It was a 19 on the machine, and it looks like a big chunky lead bullet with an iron core. So we've been finding lots of these splatted that have obviously hit off stuff. Is it some kind of early rifle round? It's incredibly heavy actually. You really wouldn't want to get hit by one of these. Anyway, it's quite nice to have a complete one. This obviously has just fallen out of somebody's pocket or run out of velocity and buried into the ground. Anyway, I think I'm going to go next door to this next field and hopefully get away from all of these shotgun caps and rifle paraphernalia. Let's see what's over there. Well, I've not had much success, but we're very remote near a big pile of rocks, and we've got 23. Nice small target. Let's see what it is. Time for the extraction. Oh, is it? Is it the front of a spoon? Buried deep under the ground. I think it's a spoon, yeah. Beginning to head back to the car and got a very ropey signal in the kind of, well, like 30s, high 20s. And it was really loud, and look what's come out. Amazingly, it's actually a coin. Nice, I don't bloody believe it. After all that searching, look at this. Giving it a wee clean. The thistle on the crown on this side. Flip it over. CR. Can you see it? Can you just make it out? Charles Regis. Charles the First. Now, I'm not sure if this is hammered. A coin, and maybe the oldest one we've ever found. Pretty awesome. 10 o'clock in the evening. Should probably go home now. I think I'll call it a day at that. Put it in the safe pocket. Woo! Day 3, heading back to the car, and a nice wee button. Not quite sure what the design is. Just give it a bit of a clean up and try and figure out what it is. Sun is setting, better get back. Day 4, lovely sunny day today, nice and windy as well. But we've got a 19 and a -1 to start off with. Kind of not too far away from that copper turner we found yesterday. So let's see what we've got. Somewhere in the corner here, fairly deep. Unfortunately, I was fooled. Big lump of rust. Right, on to the next hole. Got a nice solid 17-18. Pretty sure it's another button. Wonder if it would have had a design. Hard to tell now. It's got some kind of little bosses on it. But yeah, complete button. Pretty good. Got an absolutely deafening signal. Well, it wasn't hard to find the culprit of that one. I think it's fairly obvious. Hey, ooh, nice. Lovely horseshoe. Not super old, I don't think. Very cool. Get it in some vinegar, clean it up, add it to the others. End of day 4, and a heavy bag of finds, nothing incredible. Some nice buttons, some kind of unidentified coins, horseshoe, and various other things which I've forgotten about, but we'll start to head back and see if we find anything on the way back. The hour is late, but finds appear still on the way back to the car. Looks like we might have a buckle or something similar. Let's fish it out. There's a wee bug in it. Oh, lovely. Oh, brilliant wee buckle. Awesome. Very good. Lovely last find. Whee! Well, I can reveal it is the face of George VI. Unfortunately, it looks like he's wearing an oxidized bandana, the way that the corrosion's come through. But it is a 3p. A nice little design, 1943. So not bad. That's the second hole of the day, so going very well today. Lovely shape. A very high reading. Could it be something coppery? Oh, that was obvious. My goodness. It's big, it's coppery, it's round. Wow. Is it a big cartwheel penny or something like that? Big Georgian cartwheel penny. I'll give it a wee clean and let's see if we can see any detail. That's 2 coins in an hour. And I think we have a George III cartwheel penny. You can just see the head of Britannia sticking out from the corrosion there. And I think on this side we would have had George's head, but I'm not quite sure with all the corrosion where it would have been. I believe, fun fact about this coin is the first coin to be made with a steam-powered mill, and maybe hence why it's so big and chunky. Apparently it used to annoy people because they were so heavy. But aye, coin number 2. Fantastic. Let's hope there's some more Georgian coins out here. Heading back to the car. I'm going to get a very nice signal. Don't know what this is. Let's give it a wee. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So on this side of the coin we can see George the First, a little bit worn unfortunately, a bit of pocket wear, and then flip it over and see the date, 1723. Absolutely brilliant. Woohoo! What do you think, Kimpy? What do you reckon? The reverse legend on this coin reads Duke of Brunswick and Luneburg, High Treasurer and Elector of the Holy Roman Empire. And on the other side, the obverse legend reads George, by the grace of God, King of Great Britain, France and Ireland, Defender of the Faith. And I believe it's the first time Defender of the Faith appears on British coins, and will hang around from this point onwards. Well, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with this coin. It's the earliest silver coin I've ever found, and also has the craziest backstory. If we look at the obverse side, and where it reads SSC in a little monogram, the SSC stands for the South Sea Company, which was a shipping company formed in 1711, and was responsible for the first ever stock market bubble and crash in history. The South Sea Company was founded to help restructure government debt by trading with South America. was a little bit tricky at the time because we were also actually at war with South America. It initially gained its wealth by winning a lucrative contract in 1713 to supply African slaves to the South American colonies for 30 years. Alongside this, there were also rumours and speculations that the South Sea Company had access to vast gold and silver reserves in South America. This sent the share price soaring from £125 a share all the way up to 900 in a matter of months. Now, even characters such as Sir Isaac Newton, who was effectively overseeing the Royal Mint at this point, he was involved and embroiled and luckily managed to sell out before the bubble burst. Because the company was a public-private partnership, there was definitely some dodgy insider trading going on, which would later be investigated, but the guys in Parliament and the government managed to sell out miraculously altogether very quickly around the 900 mark. Now this drop in share price sent the markets into complete panic and chaos in London and beyond, and the share price plummeted from £900 a share back to 125. People were ruined overnight, and even people committed suicide, jumping out of buildings and so on. It was very, very dramatic, and this was the first ever recorded stock market bubble and crash in the world. So pretty momentous. It wasn't all doom and gloom in the markets, as bookseller Thomas Guy, who managed to cash out before the bubble completely burst, used his vast fortune that he gained to found a hospital. Another interesting piece of history about this coin is where the silver comes from that makes up its composition. So in 1722, a year before this coin was minted, the South Sea Company brought back a vast amount of silver from Indonesia, and in the same year they bought also 25 tons of silver back from South America, which was in the form of silver pieces of 8. Very piratey. And this was in exchange for slaves, so there's definitely some dark history behind the origin of the silver of this coin. Hopefully it's Indonesian, but I'm sure they were exploiting Indonesian slaves over there as well to mine all the stuff. All in all, the history behind the coin is a little bit dark and unsettling, but it's a fascinating find nonetheless.